February 23, 2023, Nashville police arrested a 32-year-old man. The man was trying to enter hotel guest rooms by force. After he was removed by security from the hotel, it was reported that the man was screaming, "Where is Theo Von?" while getting arrested. This iceberg is not based on any previously made iceberg, so as it's completely made by one person, there may be things I left out. So please let me know if you think there are things that should have been included. Netflix specials. Theo have two Netflix specials titled No Offense and Regular People. No Offense was released in 2016 before Theo reached nowhere near the level of fame he's at right now, and Regular People was released in 2021. His father's age. Theo said many times that his father was 70 years old when he was born, and that's almost true. His father was actually 69 years old at the time of Theo's birth. His father's age had big part in forming Theo's personality in childhood.
And I remember we come home, my mom would be like, "You need to go spend time with your dad." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Cause he's gonna die."
Especially in the beginning of his stand-up career, most of his material was centered around his father's age. Joe Rogan Experience appearances. Theo's appearances on the Joe Rogan Experience significantly increased his fame, making him a well-recognized name in the podcast and comedy worlds. This exposure also boosted the popularity of his own podcast, attracting a larger and more engaged audience than previous opportunities he had. Theo's unique humor and engaging personality quickly made him one of the show's fan-favorite guests, cementing his status as a beloved figure among Rogan's extensive listener base. White privilege. This, I think, is Theo's most famous stand-up bit.
And my poor black friends would always be like, "Man, look what you did to us." And I'm like, "Dude, do you think I would do all that shit to y'all and then move right next door, bro? You think I took all your shit and just don't have it?"
Here's some things that I think should be included in the first layer, but don't need explanation. Theo's full name is Theodore Kapitani von Kurnatowski. The King and Sting is a podcast Theo co-hosted with the greatest comedian to ever do it. This past weekend is Theo's podcast. Covington, Louisiana is the town where Theo and his crazy stories are from. Cult in Reseda. In one of Theo's most viral podcast moments, he claimed he was in Cult in Reseda while providing explanation for a picture of him he and Brendan Schaub came across online.
That's when I got involved in this damn cult.
What the fuck?
Whether you believe any part of it or not, the clip is hilarious, and you should check it out if you already haven't. Road Rules. Beside his comedy and podcast, Theo is well known by a lot of people because of Road Rules. He appeared in the MTV show as a cast member in 2000 while he was in college. Road Rules was a popular reality TV show that aired on MTV from 1995 to 2007. In the early 2000s, it was at the peak of its success. The show featured a group of young adults traveling in an RV, completing missions and challenges across different locations. This concept of traveling adventure combined with competitive tasks was fresh at the time and engaging. Haircut. If there's anything that is more memorable about Theo Von than his unique stories, it must be his haircut, and you can find many people talking about it online when they see similar haircut, even in posts that are unrelated to Theo. Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is a former UFC interim lightweight champion and a close friend of Theo. Theo can be seen in a lot of Dustin's UFC fights giving his support. Last Comic Standing. In the beginning of his stand-up career, Theo competed on Last Comic Standing.
Hello, America. Thank you guys for having me back. Thank you very much.
And he won the online competition by the audience's vote. Reality Bites Back. From all the reality TV shows Theo was involved in, Reality Bites Back stands out as it provided the best stage for Theo's transition from reality TV star to a stand-up comedian. Beside Theo Von, Amy Schumer, Bert Kreischer, Tiffany Haddish, and Donald Rawlings were part of the cast.
Some people don't even know about this show.
It was a satirical reality competition series that aired on Comedy Central in 2008. The show parodied various reality TV genres, including dating shows, survival competitions, and talent contests.
Over the next 49 days, you'll be forced to survivor on this jungle island, with only a little bit of help from the 100-person television crew who's surrounding you at all times.
The series aimed to highlight the ridiculousness and often contrived nature of reality TV by exaggerating its tropes and conventions. The Fighter and the Kid. The Fighter and the Kid was once a beloved podcast with dedicated fan base. One of the few things people can look back and still enjoy from this podcast is Theo Von's entertaining appearances. 30 Pounds Bag of Hamster Bones. 30 Pounds Bag of Hamster Bones is a stand-up comedy album by Theo Von.
They just busted a man in our town with a 30-pound bag of hamster bones on him.
He titled it after a man that got caught with 30 pounds of hamster bones in his town. He also talks about his childhood and the town he grew up in on this album. Polish Nicaraguan. On Tiger Belly podcast, Theo mentioned that his ethnic background is Polish Nicaraguan.
I'm Polish Nicaraguan, yeah.
Lil Dicky versus Theo Von. On episode 108 of BFF's podcast, Theo Von accused the rapper Lil Dicky of stealing jokes from him for his FX show Dave. One of these jokes is based on the story Theo Von told on the Joe Rogan Experience.
One time, this guy made his son a wooden shirt. Did I tell you that?
A wooden shirt?
Yeah, he made his son a shirt out of plywood for Christmas.
Lil Dicky tried to defend himself later when he appeared on the Flagrance podcast, claiming that they developed the bit in their writer's room from a completely different idea. The Bill Burr episode. In a notable appearance on episode 231 of This Past Weekend, Bill Burr appeared to promote his Netflix special, Paper Tiger. The episode kicked off with Bill roasting Theo for canceling shows due to the stress of constant touring, displaying Bill's comedic style.
Dude, bands tour for like 4 years and then fucking go right back in the studio, make another one and keep going. You gotta toughen up, man.
Yeah, you're right, huh?
You know?
What do I
Your
do, you think?
camouflage hat looking like a fucking backwoods guy, all tough and shit. You can't handle doing your hour again? I mean, come on, man. Suck it up!
Despite each being their usual selves, it became apparent within the first 15 minutes that their humor wasn't aligning well. Burr, in particular, seemed frustrated by the random topic shifts and Theo's emotionally expressive style. This disconnect was evident to fans, as seen in the comments and social media reactions, making this episode maybe one of the most discussed in the show's history. Bishop Gunn. Bishop Gunn was a band formed by 4 artists. The opening song of Theo's podcast titled Shine belongs to them, and Theo also starred in one of their music videos called Alabama. Hamsta music video. It's a music video made by Theo Von for the parody music he made of the hit rap song Panda by rapper named Designer to promote his 30 Pounds Bag of Hamster Bones comedy album. Kai the Hitchhiker. Kai became famous on 2013 for saving a woman who was being brutally assaulted on highway.
So I f***ing ran up behind him with a hatchet, smash, smash, smash.
He's the famous smasher, you know? He's that handyman that fucking couldn't find a nail, cuz, you know who that is.
And the interview he gave for local news TV channel detailing how the event unfolded went viral.
Can I get your name and where you're from?
I'm Kai.
He even appeared on the Jimmy Kimmel Show after he became famous because of this.
What do people say to you when they see you?
On October 2nd, 2014, Kai was found guilty for the murder of 73-year-old man and been in prison since. While doing his time in prison, Kai finds out a deep fake video made by superimposing Theo Von's face on his famous interview is going viral. I guess because of not knowing how famous Theo already is, or just from trying to get something out of the situation, Kai sued Theo for producing and uploading the deep fake video. He claimed Theo made and uploaded the video to get attention by using Kai's image and profit from it, even though Theo didn't make the video. Emancipation. Theo got emancipated by his mother at the age of 14 because she couldn't take care of him.
I just had a tough time growing up with my mom, and she was just hectic, Mom.
What do you mean emancipated? Like you're on your own?
Yeah.
After being emancipated, Theo used to stay in his friend's house till he found a family who accepted him to live with them in their house.
And then I got a family that let me come stay with them for literally about 3 or 4 years. So that was really cool. I had my own room for the first time.
Deal with it. Theo hosted a hidden camera prank TV show called Deal With It. The show featured Theo and celebrity guests, setting up unsuspecting participants in various humorous and awkward scenarios. Each episode followed a structure where Theo and the celebrity guest would give instructions to the participants through an earpiece, guiding them through increasingly outrageous tasks while their friends and family watched. This past weekend's beginning, Theo's podcast actually started as a weekly update of what he has been doing on the weekends while touring and doing stand-up comedy.
This past weekend wasn't really about me. I think this past weekend is about all these people.
Sometimes it's audio recording only, and sometimes it's a vlog. The first episode uploaded following the podcast format was uploaded December 19th, 2016. Theogate.
What is Theogate?
Yeah, man.
Theogate is a rumor that was circulating in comedy podcast fans' bubble that suggests Theo, Tom Segura, and his wife Christina P. were involved in some kind of love triangle, and Christina cheated on Tom with Theo. So Tom doesn't like Theo for that reason.
Tom's just never really been friendly with me when I see him.
And that's why even though they are in the same comedy podcast circle, we rarely see them in each other's podcast.
You and her had hooked up before.
Never.
Okay.
The rumor first started when an old interview Theo and Christina did resurfaced on the internet, and fans noticed the two looked very close on the interview. Also, Theo said she didn't look like a married person, and he didn't know the two were married back then. But all three of them did things that added gas to the fire of the rumor on purpose to let the rumor and fan suspicion grow to keep their audience hooked to their story for the views.
I told Ethan and Hila, ask me about like the Theo beef.
I want to ask you guys about Theo Von because there's like a whole beef with you guys.
And then we'll do a deliberate cut.
Allegedly is a podcast co-hosted by comedians Theo Von and Matthew Cole Weiss. Each episode features celebrity guests, with the hosts sharing crazy stories from their experiences in Hollywood. Almost Tom Brady. It's a sketch comedy done by Theo based on a character that tries to look like Tom Brady. It was done way before Theo got any success in comedy, so it's interesting to see the long way he came and the tireless effort he made. Comic-Con interviews. Theo used to conduct interviews for Yahoo Movies on Comic-Con. You can find these interviews on his YouTube channel. He also hosted a show called Prime Time in No Time for Yahoo. In the show, Theo recaps the biggest things that happened on TV and reality TV shows the day before. Chris Farley. Chris Farley was a beloved comedian and actor known for his energetic and physical humor, rising to fame as a cast member on Saturday Night Live in the early 1990s. He starred in popular films such as Tommy Boy and Black Sheep, which showcased his slapstick style and heartfelt performances. Farley's legacy endures through his influence on comedy, remembered for the joy he brought to audiences, despite his untimely death in 1997 at age 33. A painting of this comedy and SNL legend can be seen in Theo's podcast studio. Billy Conforto. Billy Conforto is the most famous character from Theo's childhood stories. Theo have told many stories about him. Whether you believe these stories or not, if you heard the stories, you most likely remember the name. Crank texting.
I used to do this thing called crank texting where I would just text strangers, like just text random phone numbers.
Theo had a website called Crank Texts, on which he shares funny interactions he had with random people he texted. The website was successful enough to be bought by College Humor. Selling hamster.
I used to sell hamsters, man.
Theo's first job was selling hamster outside of concerts.
First time Green Day came through town, I made almost $600 selling tattooed hamsters and guinea pigs.
Satmorn Tunes.
When I was young and you heard that doorbell go off.
These are animated stories told by Theo Von, and they're pretty fun to watch. Urban planning. Theo attended a total of 6 colleges. He attended Louisiana State University, Loyola University New Orleans, University of Arizona, College of Charleston, Santa Monica College, and University of New Orleans. He finally got his degree in urban planning from University of New Orleans. Poop burying. In one of his Joe Rogan Experience appearances, Theo told a story about his friend from his childhood that used to make him bury his poop.
That's how I was allowed to be friends with him.
How did he make you bury it?
He just asked me to do it and I was afraid not to do it.
David Duke.
Dude, I used to work out with David Duke when I was growing up.
Holy shit.
On the Joe Rogan Experience episode 925, Theo mentioned that he used to work out with the former KKK leader David Duke when he was a kid.
And he dated, I worked at this seafood restaurant. I was a busboy over there, and he dated the prettiest girl that worked at this seafood restaurant.
Was this when he was in the KKK?
No, this was after. He was non-practice, and honestly seemed like a nice guy, dude.
Bad Baby. If you don't know who Bad Baby is, she became famous after a clip of her on Dr. Phil went viral years ago.
Catch me outside, how about that?
She appeared on the show with her mother in a segment titled, I Want to Give Up My Car-Stealing, Knife-Wielding, Twerking 13-year-old Daughter Who Tried to Frame Me for a Crime. She even tried to steal a crew member's car while the episode was being filmed. Based on the fame from her Cash Me Outside clip, she started a music career in 2017 and became successful since. On a music video for one of her songs called Trust Me, Theo played a character of an online stalker doing the cyber dark arts. The Comedy Sideshow. The Comedy Sideshow is a podcast produced by the Sideshow Network and hosted by Theo. The short-lived podcast started in 2011.
I actually grew up, we had a cousin named Gary who was blind.
In the few episodes he did, Theo's trademark storytelling can be seen. Tarantino. I couldn't find what the reason is or when exactly it started, but Theo and Quentin Tarantino seems to have some sort of beef. On episode 139 of Bad Friends podcast, stand-up comedian Annie Letterman shared what Quentin said about Theo while seeing him doing stand-up in Comedy Club.
Tarantino's been coming to the Comedy Store. Yeah. Theo was on stage and he went, I don't like that guy and he doesn't like me. It's like, what is the Theo and Tarantino beef?
Did he really say that?
He said that out loud.
Wow.
I don't know if this played any role in their beef, but an episode of This Past Weekend with Bill Burr, Theo said that he didn't like Once Up on a Time in Hollywood.
I walked out after they went to that house for the first time, after they met the old guy, and they were in the yard, and then his car had a flat tire.
Oh.
And at that point, I was like, I got to get out of here. I don't know what these guys are doing. You know, I felt like it was just kind of a waste of, I don't know. I couldn't get into it, and I didn't know what was going on.
Sleeping under friend's bed while financially struggling in his early stand-up career, Theo actually couldn't afford to get his own place to stay, so he slept under one of his friend's bed for a while.
And sometimes, even in his bed sometimes, when he would be out of town or when he would leave for work, I'd climb up into his bed, dude.
Movie with Chris Pratt. In 2019, it was reported Theo will star in sci-fi movie called Ghost Draft alongside Chris Pratt. He was offered the part due to Chris Pratt's recommendation, but Theo turned down the role. The movie came out in 2021 with the title changed to The Tomorrow War, and you can still find Theo credited as cast on Google. Working on a farm, Theo has mentioned that one of the jobs he took on young age was working on a farm, bedwetter. Because of the disturbing surrounding of his childhood, Theo actually said that he was bedwetter till he was almost a teenager.
Dude, I used to have those buzzer underwear, bro. They put these underwear on you. When the urine would hit them, a buzzer would go off, right?
Oh my God.
I'm not joking.
Half-brother's death. If you ever tried to look up Theo's father on the internet, this is the man you most likely come across. You can even find this man mentioned as Theo's dad in many YouTube videos about Theo. He's also referred as Theo's father, Roland von Kernatowski, on Wikipedia. But that's not the truth. This man is Roland von Kernatowski Jr., Theo's half-brother. Theo have mentioned that he has half-siblings from his father's previous relationships. Roland von Kernatowski Jr. is a wealthy man who owned a music venue and nightclubs in New Orleans. Because he is mentioned as Theo's father in many YouTube videos and websites, it caused some people to believe that Theo faked his upbringing and he actually have rich parents, but that's far from the truth. On September 1st, 2019, it was reported that Roland died from self-inflicted gunshot. It was on the report that the accident happened while he was hunting on his property in Mississippi. At the time of death, he was being investigated by the FBI for alleged Ponzi scheme. Sister's health. One of Theo's younger sisters was born with a serious health problem that affected Theo's life and the stability of his family. His sister was born with a liver disease that made a liver transplant necessary to save her life. Because of this, his family was wrecked financially, and Theo didn't get much attention as a kid from his parents, who were more concerned about their unhealthy daughter. His sister got the transplant later and grew to be healthy. American Dad. On Season 12, Episode 3 of American Dad, Roger mentions Theo while he tries to remember the cast of Road Rules.
I would just close my eyes and try to remember all the Road Rules cast members. You got Ibis, you got Theo.
Roger!
Where's Theo Von? On February 24th, 2023, a website called Scoop Nashville reported that an arrest was made on 32-year-old man the night before. The report states, police say 32-year-old Mark Rouse was threatening guests of the Hutton Hotel on West End late Thursday night, banging on doors and attempting to get into guest rooms. Security escorted him to the sidewalk, where he encountered Metro Nashville police officers. He could not give coherent answers as to why he was causing a commotion. He then tossed his fanny pack onto West End Ave in a huff, demanding to know where comedian Theo Von was.
Funny how?